Hi, I'm Stephanie, and I am one of the administrators on Team Manifest Prosperity, a private community of wealth builders. We're all about building wealth and giving. So, we are a team formed on the premise of give, and it shall be given unto you. So, today I want to talk about assets and liabilities. Amongst those people who are not financially free, you will find one thing, that they have more liabilities than assets. And people who are financially free have more assets than liabilities. So, exactly what is an asset and what is a liability? An asset is something that makes you money. So, even though the economy at the moment is not good. They say, though, for many of us, economy has been just fine. It hasn't affected our jobs. It hasn't affected our businesses. Hasn't really affected anything with us personally. So, though the economy is bad, real estate still is an asset. With real estate, you can do a lot of things with it. You can hold it until the market comes back, which it is coming back, and it definitely will come back. Or you can actually purchase real estate and rent it out. Rent it out on something called Section 8, and you know that you'll get your monthly income every single month. So real estate is a liability. It's something that earns money. Even if it just sits there, it's earning money. Um, a business, if it is earning you money, that is an asset. So let's talk about a liability. A liability is something that takes away money. It depreciates in value. So the first thing I can think about is a car. I had this conversation earlier with one of the administrators on in our private group, and we discussed my need for a GL 550. And like I told her, just after thinking about it and thinking about it and after praying about it, it just logically makes no sense. I'm driving around in a liability. I'm driving around in something just to say I'm driving around in a Mercedes, and just for the image, really and truly. And that's most of us. It's most of us. We want to drive around in certain cars for the feeling, for the image, for what's attached to it. When you're driving around in a liability, you're driving around in something that as soon as you drive it off the lot, it is not worth what you paid for it. You'll never be able to get the money from it that you put into it. Your oil changes cost more. Anything that happened to it costs more. Your gas mileage is much less. It is not a smart investment at all. A car, not just a Mercedes, any kind of car, is a liability. So if you're going to get a car, you want to get something that is needed, something that serves a purpose. So I drive a Camry. I bought a Camry for a couple reasons. Number one, I make this 700-mile trek from Birmingham, Alabama to Dallas, Texas on a regular basis. Okay, that is a 10-hour drive. When I say regular basis, I mean every 4 to 6 weeks. That's a lot of mileage. Well, I had a Saab, which is a European car. I had to fill up 3 times on the road. In this car, I can get on one tank and a fourth. So I fill up when I'm almost to Birmingham, and then that's it. I have plenty of gas left when I get there. So on a tank and a fourth, how much money did that possibly save me? So that a car is a liability. So you want to get a car that does not create such a huge liability. Now, let me ask a question. If you wanted to turn a car from a liability to an asset, do you know what you would do? You could turn a car into from a liability to an asset if it's a taxi or something that you're going to make money from, a car that you chauffeur people in. So if you wanted to buy a vintage Rolls Royce, technically it's a liability. But if you take your vintage Rolls Royce and you begin chauffeuring people on their wedding day from their wedding venue to the reception venue or away from the reception venue, all of a sudden your vintage Rolls Royce just turned into an asset. So I want you guys to start thinking about assets versus liabilities in your life. What do you own? What is an asset for you? What makes you money? For many of people, you're going to find that the answer to that is absolutely nothing. You don't have any assets, but you definitely have more liabilities, from your car to cell phones to rent to utilities, from credit card bills, all of these different things. But then when you go to list your assets, they're null and void. So many of you in our private wealth building community here, you know that you're getting money in on a regular basis. And the first thing you think about is how you can spend it. What I want you to start thinking about is how can you apply this money towards something that's going to create an asset for you? What is something that you can apply it towards that is going to create money and revenue for you from now until eternity? What can continue making money for you? That's a great question. Let's think about that. I know what I'm planning to do with the money that we're receiving in our wealth building group, but it's absolutely nothing having to do with traveling. And you guys know I'm an avid traveler. I'm always in the friendly skies. All the time I'm in the friendly skies. Not going to travel. I've actually, since we've been doing this private group, I've cut down on traveling. I was supposed to be going to Cozumel in a couple months. I canceled the Cozumel trip. I'm not doing anything extra. Why? Because I am investing in 2 properties to rent out. That is what I'm doing. I'm going to get them, fix them up, and I'm going to rent them out. My thing is not to sell it. Then I'm going to start investing in commercial property. So I am working to use our money for assets to be able to make a way. So if my business failed, if anything happened, then even though I have our private wealth building group, I have continuous revenue coming in from the assets that I purposely set up. So no more thinking about the GL 550. No more spending my money from our wealth building program on traveling. Y'all know I still got to travel, but I'm going to do it with the stuff from my business. And that's what I'm going to do. So what are you going to do? I want you to think about it. I want you to make smart choices, because you know what? We're not going to be here forever. And there's no need to work until we're 70 if we don't have to. It's a lot of people that retire at 35 and 40, guys. 35 and 40s. And being that I'm 30, it's crazy, because that means I could be retiring in 5 years if I play my cards right, okay? So I want you to think about that with me. What are you going to do to create a life full of assets with less liabilities and more assets? So add them up. Don't feel bad, because like I said, many people watching it, you're going to have more liabilities. Don't feel bad. Just now think about the ways that you can cut out some of those liabilities. And before I end it, I use myself as another great example. I have 2 cell phone bills. I have a tablet and a cell phone. And I actually have a whole other cell phone. I'm actually right now battling with myself, because I'm going to pay an early termination fee to get my tablet cut off. And then I am thinking about letting my iPhone go and go with another plan, a cheaper plan, something that'll let me do exactly what a phone is meant to do, to freaking talk. I have a GPS in my car, so I can freaking talk and let it go, because right now I need my money to go towards assets, building wealth. Okay, so that's just a great example. Let me know what you guys are going to do, and I'll talk to you later. Hey, if you are interested in finding out about our private wealth building group, you can either leave a comment on this video, or you can inbox us, and someone from our team will be in touch. Please be sure to leave your name, your email address, and a valid phone number, and we will be in touch. Bye.